Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to yet another Amazon Seller Journey interview. Today I'm joined by Lee, who recently went from part-time to full-time Amazon seller, and he documents his journey more or less every day. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, and that's it. I try
More
to
or
do
less
it
every
every
day.
day.
It's really
Yeah.
down to earth. It's really interesting. And so I couldn't think of anyone better to have on my next session. So Lee, hope you're doing well. Yeah, we're just gonna break it down a little bit. Would you mind letting everyone know basically um, who you are, a bit about what you do, a bit about your background. Yeah, go for it. Paint us a picture of Lee.
Spot on, spot on. So yeah, hi everyone, and no thanks to Matt and the team for inviting me on the chat today. So yeah, I started Amazon a couple of years ago now, while working at a full-time job. So I was in the corporate world as a project manager and have been since I left college, so 7 or 8 years ago now. And really, kind of what I wanted to do alongside my corporate job is to find a side hustle. This side hustle everyone talks about online, where you can generate money while working passively. I wanted to find that kind of nirvana. I
Mm,
quickly found out that doesn't exist. There's no way you can kind of earn passive money without putting the kind of effort in. And really, what I kind of done throughout the last couple of years, well, before I started Amazon, was try loads of different side hustles and bits and pieces that could generate me cash while working. So to be honest, I've tried it all. I've tried drop shipping, I've tried Etsy, I've tried eBay, all of these bits and pieces, and I come across issues with all of those,
yeah.
and then it will bring me to kind of the Amazon piece a couple of years ago.
Mhm.
But really, what I wanted to do is earn money and then hopefully replace my 9 to 5 with that side hustle, so then I can have the kind of freedom and be my own boss and be able to do what I want to do essentially.
Just where you say that you tried these other side hustles and they didn't quite work out, would you mind just sort of explaining a little bit more about like why, for example, the Etsy thing or the eBay thing or the drop shipping, why exactly like those didn't quite work out and why Amazon has worked so much better?
Yeah, no problem. So the first one I tried was drop shipping. So the idea of drop shipping is amazing. You don't hold any stock, you get it from a Chinese supplier, and essentially when a customer orders it, they send it straight to your customer. So all I would have to do is build a website and essentially build a brand around that product.
Hmm.
That was easy, that part. The
Yeah,
hard part was marketing it. What I quickly went down a rabbit hole with was Facebook ads. And
yeah.
that is, if you don't know what you're doing, that absolutely drains cash out of you. So the marketing needed for dropshipping is absolutely massive. So I made a few sales, but to be honest, it kind of leveled out with my marketing costs and my sales. So I didn't really make any money on it. So I
Hmm.
thought, right, we'll stop that. Let's try something else. So then that's when I got into eBay selling. So I would be buying stuff off Facebook Marketplace and wherever else, basically, and then just reselling it on eBay. What I found with that, again, I made more sales than I did with drop shipping, but it isn't very scalable. Well, it wasn't for me at the time because I'm having to do the picking and packing.
Yeah.
I have to be in a certain location. If I'm on holiday, the business stops, all of that, all of those kind of issues. So I stopped doing that essentially because I thought I can't scale this. Then I went on to Etsy selling. So what I created was a product, and it was basically a business planner. So with my corporate job, I was jumping from meeting to meeting, scribbling all these notes. I didn't know what any of the notes were, sorry. So I thought, let's create a business planner which I can then sell on Etsy. So I created this planner. I'm going to be biased, but I thought it was quite good to be honest. But I couldn't market it again because the SEO and everything I had to see was difficult. I didn't really understand it. I didn't really have the time to understand it. So I kind of got into the same issue I had with drop shipping.
Yeah.
I couldn't market and sell my product.
Hmm.
And then that naturally took me to the Amazon area. So through obviously TikTok and everywhere else I was seeing Amazon FBA, zero marketing costs, all of this stuff. And I thought, well, that basically answers all the issues I've been having previously.
Yeah.
And then that's how I kind of got into Amazon through kind of trial and error. And it fitted the need I wanted.
Yeah. I mean, I fully respect as well that, having tried all these different things prior to Amazon, that even though it was trial error, trial error, trial error, sort of like one after the other, I mean, I've got to admire the perseverance there, and you're pulling through time after time after time after time, just to keep going with it really, and not to like give up after you've tried like one side hustle, but to have tried a number before Amazon and stuck through it all. I mean, I really do admire that, and the drive that you've got. Have you like, would you say that you've always been like quite a driven sort of like determined person?
Yeah, so really, I've always been interested in business.
Yeah.
And another passion of mine is sport. So anything to do with sport, football, golf, cricket, darts, I'm all over it. So I've played
Mhm.
sport from a young age, still play it now. So
Yeah.
football I've played. And obviously through that, you need to be determined and all of those kind of good
Yeah.
things. But like I mentioned, I've always been interested in business. So I
Mhm.
studied it through school, studied it at college. I never went to university, but
Yeah.
obviously leaving college, I went straight into the corporate world, so business again.
Hmm.
And then really when COVID came about, obviously there was quite a bit of downtime. And
Yeah.
I thought, this, working in a corporate world probably isn't for me, at that time. I wanted to learn about business more and essentially how money works. So I started doing a lot of research and all those bits and pieces.
Hmm.
And that's kind of how I got to where I wanted to be and how I wanted to kind of progress with, a side hustle and then about money as well.
Yeah.
And then obviously with all of that and, I was reading as many books I possibly sorry, and basically determination and consistency,
Hmm.
you need that to kind of, if you want to progress.
Yeah. When you got started with Amazon, and at first it's just that thing on the side that you do,
Yeah.
did you find it difficult to juggle that alongside your other job, or was it quite easy to do?
It was challenging at times, to be honest. Again, I think Amazon FBA is thrown about as a get rich quick scheme
Yeah.
when it really isn't.
Yeah.
I would be working my 9 to 5. I would be doing an hour before I started, for example, and then I'd be working a couple of hours in the evening,
Yeah.
especially kind of the last 6 months of 2023,
Hmm.
because I was really trying to push and scale the Amazon business
Yeah.
with the obviously view to be full time with it in 2024. So I was
Hmm.
putting a lot of hours in. To be totally honest, when I first started Amazon FBA, it was one of those where it kind of I started and then I dropped off, let it plateau for quite a while, and then I kind of picked that back up again.
Hmm.
So it was kind of up and down, and really I think with Amazon you get what you put into it.
Yes.
So yeah, it was challenging for the kind of the back end of 2023 doing full-time work and Amazon, but it is doable. It is doable, and also it depends where you want to get to with your Amazon journey. You
Yeah.
can easily build it where you're supplementing your 9 to 5 and you keep at that level. So when you want to scale it, that is, the challenging bit, and you
Hmm.
need to obviously put that time and effort into it.
Yeah. Exactly. And so I guess with all of that hard work that you were doing towards the end of 2023, is that then what is that then when you had the breakthrough of moving from a side hustle to a full-time thing? Like how long has it been a full-time thing for you?
Yeah, so 2024, start 2024 was when it went full time.
Yeah.
It was to be totally honest, it was kind of a natural break in my career as a product manager, and Amazon getting to a point where I thought, right, let's just give this a go.
Hmm.
Um, and just really, I've gone full time with it, but I'm still not taking a salary out of Amazon FBA.
Yeah.
So I'm just, bits and pieces which I've saved up while working. I'm essentially living on that at the minute because
Hmm.
I don't want to stunt the growth of the business by taking a salary. I want to keep it in there for as long as I can, and build it up that way. So
Yeah.
yeah, it isn't kind of, I haven't gone from zero to loads. I'm still, you know,
Yeah.
not making anywhere as much as what other people are making or anything like
Hmm.
that. But it's all for me is about growth and looking a long-term view. Where do I want the business to be in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years time?
Yeah. Um, and so obviously it's essentially only been like a few weeks. Like, how have you found the whole sort of transition? How have you found the last few weeks?
Yeah, no, it's been really good to be honest. The bit which I've loved the most is just being able to do what I want to do when I want to do it, to be
Yeah.
totally honest.
Yeah.
So, if I want to work in the morning, early in the morning, and finish early, I can. If
Hmm.
I want to have a late start and then work all the way into the evening, I can. Um, it's just been great. If I want to go out for a walk or go play golf or do something like that, I can just do it.
Hmm.
I don't, you the power of your own being and everything which I'm doing, the input, the output, everything I'm doing is directly helping me and helping the business.
Hmm.
So that's been the best thing for me is just, being at the power of my own being.
Yeah. And what, on the flip side of that, like what would you say has been the most challenging part of the past few weeks, if anything?
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm really big into processes and systems.
Yeah.
So is I essentially what I've been trying to do the last few weeks is define my processes and systems
Yeah.
so it holds me accountable.
Yeah.
So obviously motivation goes up and down. Some
Yeah.
days you'll feel very motivated, some days you won't feel motivated. But you need to have good processes and systems in place because the days you don't feel motivated, you can just follow that A to Z process or that system and push through. So yeah, that's the biggest challenge for me is being, I wouldn't say motivation because I think when you're doing it by yourself, you have that motivation to do it. Like I said, some days you won't feel as much as others, but you generally do. So challenges, I would just say, to be honest, nothing different to what I was doing when I was doing it part time. Amazon throwing some curveballs in there. So I've had
Yeah.
an authenticity complaint. I've had stock going missing, all of those bits and
Yeah.
pieces. Um, but nothing kind of more than what I had previously. I suppose the only added pressure is it has to work and it
Yeah.
has to generate me money. I haven't
Yeah.
got anything to fall back on. It has to do it. But if you take a step in the right direction every day and you follow your process and your system
Hmm.
and you're confident in it, it will work.
Hmm.
You know.
Yes. No, 100% agree with you. And just on the back of something you said, this was actually something that one of the viewers actually asked about overcoming challenging issues such as IP problems, lost shipments and such. Would you mind just sort of expanding on some of those things, like where you came across the issue and how exactly you dealt with it?
Yeah, yeah, no problem. So, yeah, I'm sure everyone's familiar with the account health of your Amazon FBA account. It brings all us sellers a lot of joy.
Hmm.
No, it doesn't. So yeah, IP complaints, authenticity issues, invoice defect rates, all of those kind of things. So, my what I found worked is again processes and systems. Have a process. So when you are buying items you have a process where you're storing your invoices, where you're storing your receipts. You're buying stuff from reputable companies, if reputable wholesalers, reputable retailers. And if you do find sites which aren't good and you shouldn't be buying from, make a note of them, make a list of them, and avoid them.
Hmm.
So for me, if you have everything in line, and you know where all your invoices are, you know you've brought them from a decent place. When you get an issue with Amazon, an IP complaint, an authenticity complaint, it is that you follow that process, you find that invoice, you submit it to Amazon, you submit it what they're asking you for. If they're asking you to backdate 365 days of invoices and match up the units, you've got it there.
Hmm.
And another thing with that is I would say um, the softwares are your friend. So on Scuify, for example, lost shipments, reconciliations, it will highlight issues and errors on there.
Yeah.
BuyBotPro, when you're doing your analysis, you know, you should have criteria and you should be looking at those alerts. So is it an IP, known IP issue on that listing? If so, avoid it.
Hmm.
So it just, again, that links to that earlier process. You can
Yeah.
see I'm going to be flicking
Yeah.
around with all these different bits. If it's meeting the criteria and it doesn't show as an IP, good. And then you buy it, file your invoices, and if something does throw up, you can then quickly, try and overcome that with Amazon.
Yeah.
Another thing, which is your friend, is I would say Facebook groups. There's a couple of good Facebook groups out there where if you are having issues, you can put questions in. and people will help and help as best they can.
Hmm.
But really, yeah, just file everything, make sure you're buying stuff from good places. And when Amazon do, or if you have an issue, don't panic.
Yeah.
Don't panic. Amazon send a lot of scary emails, and that's what I panicked at the start when I started selling on Amazon. But they're never as bad as you think they are
Hmm.
if you followed your criteria and your processes.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah, like I can't emphasize enough how important it is as well to keep a hold of like invoices, receipts,
Yeah,
proof of purchase. Like you really do need that stuff. Um, and yeah, again, another point that that's a really valuable one is you can't really lone wolf it.
no,
Like being part of a group, whether that's on Discord, on Facebook, just being part of like the Amazon selling community,
yeah,
you do need it. Like you can lone wolf it for only for only like so long before you actually need help. And it's not a bad thing to seek help. Yeah, like it's literally as simple as popping a question in a Facebook group, and boom, you've got like a
yeah,
ton of other sellers that are giving you an answer, and you know that they're all good answers because everyone is in the
mm,
same boat as you. So yeah, two really valuable points. Um, and taking it back to when you're talking about having like processes in place, like um, a way that you hold yourself accountable for what you do. I have seen that you do have like a timetable sort of thing for the week.
yeah.
Um, just wanted to ask a bit more about that. So is it like a 7 day timetable? As in, do you do something every day, or do you have like days where you go, nope, I'm gonna, unwind, have this day off? And with your days as well, like, is it a very like strict structure that you definitely do these things on this day? Is it like something where you do those things every single week, or is it like a very sort of like loose structure where you sort of have a couple of things that you need to do and a couple of things that you can do if you have time and it's okay if you need to move that to another day? Just explain to me a bit more about like your timetable.
Yeah, yeah. So I still timetable myself Monday to Friday. That might flex. Sometimes I might do stuff on Saturday, sometimes I might do stuff on Sundays. And to be honest, the reality of Amazon and running your own business, you do something, even if it's small, every single day of the week,
Hmm.
because it's just how it is. But essentially how I work and why I timetable stuff so much is to keep me on track,
Yeah.
because I'm very good at starting something and then getting another idea and then starting that and then getting another idea and starting that and never actually finishing anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's exactly why I kind of timetable. And I think people have called it time boxing. So I will, for example, uh, from a Monday to a Friday, I will say, okay, I want to do wholesale on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I want to do OA on Thursday, Friday, for example.
Hmm.
And then on the Monday, on the morning or the evening before, I will then time box those activities. So okay, right, 9 to 9:30, I'm going to do a bit of admin. I'm going to go through all my emails. I'm going to tick all of that off. Um, 10 o'clock to whatever time, I'm going to review the leads. I've got two virtual assistants, so I'll review those every day. And then I will then portion out, say I want to do wholesale for 3 hours. Okay, well, maybe that's an hour finding new wholesalers, two reviewing wholesale leads that I found the previous week or the day, and then the final hour is getting back to wholesalers or ringing them up or whatever it may be.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's kind of a couple of stages. I'll do an overview for the week, and then I'll do specific time box activities for that day. Um, but yeah, that's the reason I do it, is simply just to stay on track and not get distracted.
Yeah. No, like it. I think that it's a really good idea to have that structure, to have a routine going on, especially with working from home and making that transition from it being a side hustle that like yeah you don't have to be like fully on it to when it becomes like something that you then depend on, like that's your livelihood. And so having a timetable in place I think is super important. So yeah, for anyone out there that is sort of like struggling with how to allocate tasks to certain time periods and what exactly to do each day, I would advise taking a leaf out of Lee's book and, having yourself just a, timetable Monday through to Friday, Monday through to Saturday, whatever work times that you want to do, and then just delegating tasks to however many hours and, taking them off as you go. So that way you know that you're doing stuff and it makes
Yeah.
it a whole lot easier. So, yeah, I've done these things on Monday, I don't need to do them again. Yeah, do this on this day, this day. So that way you know exactly what's going on. So yeah, I think that's like a really important thing. Um, and you mentioned, you mentioned that you do online arbitrage and
Yeah.
wholesale. Have you tried any other methods whilst you've been selling on Amazon? As in, have you like tried retail arbitrage, for example? Have you, what sort of methods have you done so far?
Yeah. So to be honest, mainly just wholesale and OA.
Mhm.
I have very briefly dabbled in RA,
Yep.
but not massively. I think for me, I don't have the patience to walk around
Yeah.
shops.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've dabbled in it, but it's mainly wholesale and OA. So if we just flick back to when I started Amazon,
Yeah.
so I started in the wholesale side of it.
Hmm.
I actually got some mentoring from Jack's money journey that a lot of you probably would have seen online.
Yeah.
I can't recommend him enough. It really, really, really did help that kind of start into Amazon. So I
Hmm.
started with wholesale, and I'd done that for probably just over a year. And then I kind of just wanted an injection of, with OA, you get higher margins and higher ROIs and all of that stuff. So I just wanted an injection of that essentially. So I
Hmm.
basically started looking at OA, and at that kind of time, and this is going to come back to a point I'm going to make later on about networking. Um, I I'm going to go off a tangent here, but
Yeah.
basically my accountant is my best one of my best mates' dads, and his mate happens to do Amazon as well. So I've never met this guy before, but we linked together. And then he said, "Do you want to come into a pool with me for two virtual assistants?" And he just does OA. So I said, "Yeah, let's go for it." So then my OA side of the business picked up and become automated with these two virtual assistants. So then I kind of split it between 50% wholesale, 50% OA, and that's currently where we are at the moment. To be totally honest, the OA side of the business is basically fully automated. So I'm wanting to uplift how much wholesale I'm doing and basically increase that because it is more sustainable. It's easy to replenish and all that good stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, just coming back to your question, RA, not really touched it. I think I will do a little bit of it, but it's not really on my kind of path. I think for me personally, I want to, once I've grown the wholesale side of the business further, I want to look at the US market
Hmm.
and then private label.
Yeah. No, uh, I mean that's the beauty of selling on Amazon. Like, there's all these different approaches, and like what's cool about it is that you can literally just switch from one to the other, and you can have
Yeah.
like multiple on the go at the same time. So obviously, you found yourself comfortable with wholesale with OA, and looking to try private label. How are you feeling about how are you feeling about that? Because I know that there's, it does take some like extensive research to get into the private label side of things. But how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, it's going to be a big leap. It's a big unknown. Obviously, I've seen a lot of people talking about it,
Yeah.
and to be totally honest, I haven't done that much research into it yet. But it's high cost and high risk, but it's high reward.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those. Once I do a bit more research and speak to a few more people, I'll feel a bit more comfortable with it. But yeah, when you're just looking at it, it's this, scary thing, which you're going out and getting a product, creating your own listings and all of
Mhm.
that. But when the time comes, yeah, I'm sure it'll all be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it will. I mean, from like just from like your determination, drive, and like having tried and errored like a bunch of things before, like I'm sure that you'll make it. Um, and with fully automating, aspects of your business. So I just wanted to like bring it to I think this ties a bunch of things that you've said up really nicely. It's like softwares and automating bits of your business. So I know that you use BuyBotPro, Skewerify, and then Profit Protector Pro. Prior to using that, did you use a repricer before, or was Profit Protector Pro like the first one that you used?
Yeah, no, so I did use another repricer,
Yeah.
and then I switched over to Profit Protector Pro, and I must say the usability on Profit Protector Pro is so much better in
Yeah.
my opinion, because it's user friendly. You've got I think it's for 14 inbuilt algorithms within there.
Yeah.
So you don't need to configure your own; they're already there. It links in with BuyBotPro and all the other bits and pieces.
Mhm.
And for me personally, it has been winning that buy box a lot more.
Yeah.
So obviously driving more sales and driving more profit.
Yeah.
So I can't complain, to be honest. It's helping my business massively.
Oh, I mean, love to hear it. And it like in terms of like how much sort of like work you have to do with repricing, like have you noticed that there is a difference in how much time you have to actually spend, adding mins and maxes and strategies and adjusting bits and bobs? Like, have you found that there is like a massive difference in how much time you spend doing it compared to your previous repricer?
Ah, yeah, so much. So one of my pet hates was about having to go in and add cost of goods manually to bits and pieces. So
Yeah.
after added something to your inventory, then once it goes live, you then have to go through all of these items that you've brought and go down the cost of goods.
Hmm.
And it was just one of those admin tasks which I used to dread and think, oh God, because if you didn't do it, obviously it would throw off your profits and your all of that within the software.
Hmm.
Um, and obviously doing OA, you're buying a lot of different products.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of moving parts to it. So moving over to the kind of the suite with Profit Protector Pro, Skewerify, and BuyBot Pro, um, it simplifies that process massively. So the integration. So for example, now what the process of adding in a cost of goods and then repricing it is just on that top level on Amazon.
Hmm.
So I'll literally just press the export to Skewerify. That's in my profit and tracking
Yeah.
software. And then I scroll down and just go automate my mins and max, set to the algorithm I've got as a default, save that, and
Mhm.
that's done. I don't need to do anything more. So it's all done within a few clicks, and I don't then need to go back and backdate things or whatever it may be.
Yeah. And what strategy is it? Just out of curiosity that you have as your default. I'm assuming it's one that you really like. Which one is it?
Yeah, so I've got dynamic profit builder.
Yeah.
So yeah, so just matching the buy box essentially, but obviously trying to uplift that as it goes through. For listings that aren't moving as quick as I want them to, I do put it as super aggressive dominator every now
Yeah.
and again. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, we love that. Yeah, I find that one really interesting to ask because like everyone's got like a different answer because obviously everyone's got like different goals and different things that they want to do. Um, but yeah, like having found a home with the dynamic profit builder, it is definitely a good one.
Yeah.
Um, And I guess that brings me to a point now where we can move into the entertainment factor of these interviews. And I absolutely love this because it's basically whatever's in my head. I'll straight up ask you. And this is where we can really go on a tangent. So I think I'm going to start with so you mentioned that you like sports. Do you have a favorite sport of them all?
Yeah, yeah, football. Football's my
Yeah.
favorite.
And
Yeah,
do you both watch and play?
I
Yeah.
do. Yeah, yeah.
And I think this one might trigger a couple of comments, but what team do you support?
Oh God, here we go. Liverpool. Yeah, so I
Liverpool.
support Liverpool. Yeah. As people will be able to tell from my accent, I am definitely not from Liverpool. So there's probably going to have a few comments in there saying, "Why do you
Yeah.
support them?"
And how long have you like been playing for? Has it been sort of something you've done forever, or is it something you got into like recently?
Yeah, and since I've probably 4 or 5, I've been playing football. All throughout. Yeah, yeah. So since I was young.
Yeah. Is it just for fun, or is it I like are you part of like a team?
Yeah, yeah. So part of a team. So I played on Saturdays and Sundays for years and years. So
Yeah.
that was don't play on Saturdays anymore. But yeah, I used to my weekend used to be jam packed with football. 3 o'clock kickoffs on a Saturday, so that'd take up the entire of the day. Tuesday night matches, Sunday matches, Saturday matches, training in the week. That used to be yeah, take up my life.
Yeah. And it like is that would you say that that's your sort of like main way to unwind, Or is there sort of like anything else that you enjoy doing as well? Anything else that sort of like relaxes you, or just stuff that you enjoy?
Yeah. To be honest, mainly sport. So yeah, football, obviously it's good to unwind. You're fully in the mode of playing. You can't think about anything else. I've just my family, when my dad and granddad are massively into golf, I've just started that as well because all my mates have just got into it.
Yeah,
But I'm not yeah, I'm still learning at that. And yeah,
yeah,
I just got back from a holiday in Portugal and I didn't win, so I need to put a bit more practice into the golf.
yeah,
Yeah, and to be honest, other than that, just going out, going for a meal and all of those kind of good things.
yeah. I think my only experience of golf is Wii Sports and golf. Yeah, so I have zero idea how I would do if I was playing like a proper golf match. Uh, yeah, was it something that you found like did you find it like quite hard to do and like even things like choosing what sort of golf putter that you were using, like did you find that sort of like tough to do or not so
Yeah,
much?
yeah, no, I was quite lucky. Obviously, my dad, granddad, massively into golf, so I had a lot of hand-me-downs from them,
Yeah.
and bits and pieces. But it's such a frustrating sport, you know. You'll hit the ball nice 1 minute, and then you'll hit it right in the tree on the left in the next minute, and you're thinking, why have I just done that? And that makes no sense.
Yeah.
But but no, it's all good. And to be honest, what I like about golf is that you can go on some nice holidays with it as well. You can
Yeah.
get in the sun because that's one of my other things I like doing is traveling as much as I can and going to see new places and experiencing things.
Hmm. And is there anywhere that you would really like to go that you haven't been yet?
Oh, I would say probably I'd like to go to the Maldives, to be honest.
Hmm.
It's yeah, I'd like to go there for a relaxing holiday, and then for a kind of an adventurous one, I'd like to go do a safari
Yeah.
in Africa. They're probably the main two, to be honest.
Hmm. When you go away on a holiday, like would you say that you have more sort of like adventurous ones or more relaxing ones? Like when you go away, do you prefer to literally just like relax, like sit on a sunbed, or do you like actually doing sort of as much as you can?
Yeah, doing stuff. I am terrible for just sitting there. I just can't do it. I
No, I
always need
agree
to
with
do
you.
something or
Yeah,
have my mind on something. I can't. Yeah, I can't just sit there and just lay
yeah.
on a sunbed.
It's
Um,
about yeah, it's about an hour max for me before I'm like,
yeah.
hold on, I've just paid X amount to come here. I need to do I need to do all this stuff. Um, yeah, no, I'm completely with you on that one. Where's sort of like the best place you've been so far?
Thailand.
Thailand.
Yeah, Thailand. Yeah, me and my mates. This was quite a few years ago. We went there for 3.5 weeks. And that was just we started in Bangkok and then all went down to the national parks and then done all the islands and then came home. That was yeah, that was really good fun.
Yeah, and it didn't play off like a hangover movie, did it?
Yeah, we won't go into the details.
Cool. Yeah, so yeah, Maldives, here we come.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Need to sell a few more things on Amazon first.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, we're talking about this like prior to the interview as well, like having the power to literally like you can travel and you can work as well. So you could extend like the amount of time that you spend away. Um, dedicating some of that time obviously to working, but then you still have like just as much time to do the things that you want to do. And I
Yeah,
think that's like a really cool part about this whole Amazon thing. Just being able to, have that power to, be your own boss, travel and work. Um, yeah.
yeah, definitely. Having that time and place freedom to do what you want is one of the massive benefits of an online business.
Hmm.
And having those automations in place, and stepping back from bits and pieces and getting help to do elements of your business, i.e. packing boxes. If you can get someone else to do that for you or employ someone to do that, it then gives you even more freedom. And then someone's going to be playing a drinking game with how many times I've said this, processes and systems. If you have that in place, like I said, you can go, you know you can travel anywhere while still working
Mhm.
essentially.
And what's like your goal, like your main goal for this year? Like I'm gonna split this question into two. So like, what's your main goal for your Amazon business, and then do you also have like a personal goal like for yourself?
Yeah, yeah. So the Amazon business, I want to obviously scale as much as I possibly can
Yeah.
by the end of this year, and automate as much as I can. So then, you know, it doesn't take as much time from me, so it frees me up to do those bits and pieces. And a personal goal is just to really, it's going to link to the Amazon one,
Hmm.
but for this to be a success, so that I don't need to go back into full-time work as such. And really that will be a success for me if obviously I can do both of those by kind of in a year's time.
Well, you've done really, really well so far. And again, like the drive that you have, that determination, I really admire that. And that's if anyone's going to take away anything from this session, it's basically just don't give up and just keep going with it. I think that's the main thing. And I mean, you are a perfect example of what you can achieve, if you just keep going, yeah, even if stuff like messes up, like you can get to where you want to be. And here you are, having switched it from a side hustle to a full-time thing, and that's amazing. Um, and yeah, like I'm sure that you wouldn't have to go back into full-time work. Yeah, so you are going to have that success. And Lee also documents his journey every day, more or less, on TikTok. Keeps it like very, very real, which is one of the things that I really like about your channel and your content and the way that you present it as well. It's very real. And then you also sort of like mix in, like it's not just 100% Amazon because obviously, doing what you do, having it be a full-time thing, like it really does like merge together with your own life as well. And so I like the fact that you sort of like mention aspects of that and how how things affect one thing and vice versa. A bit like what you're saying earlier about like the days when you're not feeling that up to it.
Mm.
So yeah, like how you do your content is just amazing. And I'd really recommend checking out Lee's channel. Would you mind just telling us a little bit more about where we can follow your journey for those that are interested?
Yeah, yeah, no problem. So TikTok is the best place. So my name on there is virtual_Lee.
Yeah.
And as you just said, yeah, Matt, I try to document as much as I can every day. So I normally do a day in the life. I'll do some informational videos around the softwares that I use,
Hmm.
and just general bits and pieces about FBA, while also sharing some of my travels and other bits and pieces I get up to. I try to do it as uncut as I possibly can. And the whole reason I kind of started doing TikTok was to hold myself accountable
Yeah.
while going full time. So it forces me to do what I need to do every day as
Yeah.
well. But that's the best place. On there, I'm trying to share as much information as I can, and also materials. So I have a lot of free templates, purchase sheets, and I also have a free Telegram group as well, where I share a lot more content on there. So yeah, drop us a follow, drop us a
Yeah.
message, come and say hi, and yeah, ask any questions you want on there, and I'll be happy to help and answer if I can.
Awesome. And I'm going to be dropping links to Lee's TikTok channel in the description if you want to go ahead and check it out. I'd heavily recommend it because it is an awesome channel. Before we wrap up, is there anything else that you wanted to say before we go?
I just think, just yeah, I think just if you're thinking about starting to do Amazon, or you've just started, just throw your all into it and go for it. You won't regret it. The path won't constantly be going up. There will be ups and downs on it, but just have that determination. Just be consistent with it and develop your own processes and systems while setting a goal of what you want to achieve from it. And it's such a good business model. And if you throw yourself into it, you will be successful with it. So yeah, just go for it.
I couldn't put it better myself. No, I really appreciate your time today, Lee. Really appreciate you sharing your story. I'm sure everyone else does as well. So yeah, if you've got any questions, pop them in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well. And as always, we'll have more of these sessions. And at some point as well, may have sessions where we come back and revisit Lee and some of the others that you've seen on the previous sessions as well. So once again, thank you so much, Lee, for having joined me. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you all soon.
Thank you.